それは私が戦士だからよ。
戦士。
やだ、何あれ。4枚よ。嘘。うさぎちゃん、今よ。
Have you ever gazed at the stars and wondered why didn't they ever make a Sailor Moon live-action series? It would translate so well.
Ach, das Mondkristall! Au! Ich werde es nicht zulassen, dass du meinen Freundinnen weiteres Leid.
I know I have. Well, turns out they did, and it's somehow even worse than you would expect.
どうしようもない衝動に突き動かされて今
So the story begins with Usagi, who on her way to school gets jumped by something I can't in good conscience call a CGI cat. Because it is quite literally a plushie cat. Anyway, after it bounces off of her, you know, because it's an inanimate object, it latches on her head. She doesn't seem to find that odd, so she shrugs it off and she continues on her way to school. There, her teacher acts like an infant, so she decides to go karaoke because we need to establish that she is indeed a teenage Japanese girl in the 2000s. Anyway, Luna the plushie cat makes contact to let Usagi know that she's one of the sailor warriors. She doesn't believe her, and she conjures up a phone because she's a teenage girl in the 2000s, just in case she changes her mind, and goes away. We then meet our evil henchman, whose only scary quality is that his teeth are unsettlingly round. Ugh. Also, the Master of the Week is there. A bit further is Luna, who sees Usagi trying to climb a ledge in the most moronic way possible. Like, how is reaching that with your foot gonna help? And just before she accomplishes nothing, she slips and falls. And I don't care how magical this plushie is, she should be at least bedridden after that fall. But she's not, so...
うさぎちゃん、一緒になるちゃんを助けましょう。
So the villain makes a move and Sailor Moon arrives unprepared so she can do the transformation in front of her. As a result, she has to run away, squealing all the way. So after putting on her Moon Wellington rain boots and moon wig, she pauses to contemplate her attire. Nope, not really. So with her newfound power, she immediately runs away squealing and they're punching this time. They then proceed to the action scene where Sailor Moon fights the villain, in a choreography that seems to have been hilarious to shoot under its panty shot, never suspecting that it might not look that great in post-production. The villain is finally defeated with the help of Sailor Moon merch that was probably bought in a Toys R Us store, as this was before they went bankrupt. The figure skater tries to assassinate her, but at the last moment, this guy saves her. We were, after all, hitting dangerous levels of female empowerment with those upskirts, and we needed a man to swoop in and save the girl.
目当てのものは見つからなかったが、面白いものが見れたな。
助けてくれてありがとう。あなたは？
タキシード仮面。
That's his name? Come on. There's no way. At this point you might think, oh sir, you petty piece of shit. This series must have been an indie, semi-amateur, semi-comedic movie in the 90s that went straight to home video. And you know what? I agree. It does look like that. But in reality, it was produced by multi-million-dollar company Toei, aired nationwide in 2 separate channels, had the original creator Takeuchi Naoko on payroll, and lasted 50 episodes, and 2 extra specials for the DVD release. Meanwhile, back in the Power Rangers villain fort, in the next episode, Sailor Moon meets the second warrior, Ami, which kinda reminds me the teacher from that weird Japanese ad.
I guess they share one important feature in your eyes.
Anyway, turns out she doesn't wanna be a warrior because she has school. And now we have to deal with that shit. Right after that, we learn that Sailor Moon's mom might also have superpowers but can't fully control them, because she almost cringed me to death.
これ
え
塾の地図あんな成績取ってたんと心配だわ申し込んでおいたから今日から行って基礎からやり直しなさい
I barely understand the language, and I still know this is bad acting. Anyway, the episode is halfway up, and it's been 3 minutes since we established that Ami doesn't want to become a warrior, so the villain of the week happens to attack this specific school, at this specific class, where Ami happened to attend. She happens to wear headphones instead of listening to the lecture, even though she's a model student, so when the villain that happens to use sound waves commences her attack, she's unaffected. So she ends up being pursued by the monster, she escapes long enough to reach the place where Usagi happened to be, to embody the stereotype, and trip over nothing. And then this happens. This scene made me understand what I must have looked like to girls when I was a teen, while geeking out to a shonen anime. Which explains a lot. Anyway, Usagi arrives just in time to essentially do absolutely nothing, and Ami's life is hanging in the balance. Sailor Moon, with all her might, is barely able to hold up a tiny, thin teenage girl, and it's obviously the best time to talk about their feelings in length. Okay, pause. At this point, it is established that Ami is a very shy and quiet girl that wants to mind her own business. She's extremely passive, which is why her reluctance to become a warrior makes sense. Therefore I, being the storytelling connoisseur that I am, expected her to overcome her passiveness in the face of danger momentarily, opening her up to gradually gain confidence throughout the series and become less of an introvert. Instead, this happens.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
So with their powers combined, they use their Sailor Moon Happy Meal toys, Underage Panty Shot, to defeat both the villains, Underage Panty Shot, and save the day. In the last episode for this video, we catch a glimpse of another warrior who is way into parkour, Naruto, and wearing the glasses Jessie wore as a disguise in Pokemon. Then there's this monster that has been kidnapping young girls, taking them to another dimension. While investigating, Usagi and another girl, Rei, that would definitely won't end up being another warrior, are also taken to that place where they meet this week's monster. So to fight it, they need to... Okay, that, and they need to last until Ami... Alright, until Ami finds a way to get to the... get to the dimension. However, Usagi gets captured in a very non-hentai way, and the monster goes after Rei. Suddenly, her bracelet starts glowing, and she... How do y'all even know the choreography and the one-liners? 5 seconds ago, you didn't even know what a warrior was. Anyway, with their powers combined, they manage some underage panty shots and defeat the monster. Ami opens a portal and they get the girls out. Oh, and Tuxedo Mask remembers that he is in the show as well, so he shows up to grope Usagi a little bit and disappears. Rei tells Usagi that she doesn't want to be her friend, and Usagi gets a stroke. Well, that's as far as I'm gonna go, at least sober. If you like this video, be sure to share, like and subscribe, and maybe I'll make another one.